Hi, it's Benjamin Freeman Wilson with another mini logo tutorial. And so in this one, we're going to share how to set up a VS Code package or specifically a VSIX extension for your custom language. And it's actually not that hard. If you've been following along with these tutorials so far, you already have most of what you need. We'll just help you connect the last parts. And then you can actually get the language support, much like what we have for mini logo right here. Get auto completion and such, as you would expect for any full featured language. So let's get started. So one of the first things you're going to need to do is actually add this VS Code pre-published sketch. It's good to have to run the build and lint to verify everything is okay before you actually publish a VSIX extension or build it. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and prepare this VSIX extension file itself. So let's make sure that we have the following set up. So I'll just space this. So let's get VS Code pre-published as mentioned. And then the next one is we're going to have ES base to actually build the extension endpoint. And for the bundler, make sure you have ES installed. It can be a dev dependency or it can be installed globally. It's not present here. I think I had it before, but I must have it installed globally, but you can have it as a dev dependency, probably better. So when you're bundling, make sure that you have the extension referenced and the out file referenced. So we're using that produced out to actually produce our VSIX extension file. Now by default, in my setup here, add /source, but it's really /extension or something like that. It varies based on which version of Langium you are. In mine, it was /source extension, so double check yours. So it depends on how you built it from the UML generator, which version. So just change it on your end to match where your extension file is, because the shift between major versions in Langium 1.1, 1.2, and the 2.0 changes. So then again, this version is 1.2.0 of Langium that we're talking about. Okay, so we're in here. Most of this in the extension has been generated by default. You can alter a little bit because you can change the name of the language. If you started with the name that you don't want to keep, like in my case, the file system watcher actually won't work because it was in the hello world extension. So I changed it to .logo. I can change the language to mini logo. Again, if you started with the correct language when you were generating, all this will be set. I just didn't change it on mine, but you don't have to change this for it to work necessarily. Okay, now you have that set up. Make sure that VSCE is installed. I think this has changed since there's a different way to include it, but use the new version then. So just make sure to keep that up to date. I have it installing. Okay, so then all I have to do is npx VSC, not much else. Everything is working. It should be okay. Oh, whoops, right. VSC package. You can see through it, it ran through and automatically invoked that VS Code pre-published script. And then it ran the ES build base script. And then you can see it is asking us for a couple things here. Just say yes, because some stuff is missing in the package default or in the package JSON, like a license, which you really should have a license. But in our case, it's an example. So that's why the repo and the license isn't set up. So we're going to go ahead and generate and just accept this. And there it is. And now that it's here, oh, there's our extension. It's pretty easy to install. Just right-click it and right-click install VSIX. Just to prove it, I installed my previous mini logo one. So my mini logo extension, that is really, it's gone. So I can show you that there's no support at all here. It's just like a text file. It's just there. So now let's go ahead and install it. And so let's install this extension, get a notification in the bottom right, need to reload. And now that I've reloaded, I can go back, take a look at my logo file. Oh, I had a little error here. I had to make a quick change. I realized I was trying to install the extension, that it wasn't working as expected, and the problem was this out file. Originally it was out/main previously, now it should be out/extension/main, because if you look down here, the main here is out extension main, so that's got to match. So I've gone ahead and updated that. And then there's many cases here where, again, it's still hello world. This really should be mini logo, but again, maybe different in yours. So I've just corrected the rest of these references really quick, just cleaning up stuff. And I also figured out the other mistake, which was us running ESC publish and not VSCE package. We're not trying to publish an extension, we're trying to build an extension. So small mistake. So VSCE package, and it should be good, should build our extension as expected. Yes, yes, yes. And then from there, we should be good. Now we have our VSX extension file. And again, no mini logo support still. So let's go ahead and right click, install VSIX extension. And now we have mini logo support, just like that. And there you go. That is hopefully a fairly good overview of how to craft your own extensions. If you want to, you can also publish this extension for your custom-built Langium-based language. Now, before we wrap up, we maybe want to add like an image to our extension, which, be quite nice. And so I've added also some other metadata. There's an icon and a publisher, but I think this duplicated a display name. Oh, yeah, right. The display name was down here, needed to be moved up. Yes, yeah, just to make it a little more organized. But we need the icon and the publisher here. That's good to have. So we had to have an icon locally. So it needs to be relative to the package JSON. So I just added a turtle. It's a little bit of a joke because mini logo is akin to logo, and logo predates turtle in Python, but turtle is oftentimes what people think of when think of drawing languages. So I just used turtle. Okay, so I'll use that turtle icon. We don't actually have to need to change anything. We just package again. We'll get a new extension. We can install this one over our existing one. So nothing has changed in terms of the extension itself. We still have mini logo support, same as before. But what we have now, you can actually see that mini logo is listed here in the list of extensions. And we have our little turtle, and it even says our publisher here is TyFox. So this is quite handy, and you can see more information about your custom-based language. And so this is how you craft your own VSIX extension and craft a little language or craft a little icon for it. But that's it for this tutorial. So in the next tutorial, we'll talk about taking what we've done so far and setting up an instance of Monaco using the Monaco editor wrapper and syncing it with Langium such that we can run Langium with Monaco in the web, which will give us an editor completely independent of a backend and with full language support as well. So the same kind of completion and the same kind of support that we expect natively in VS Code. Okay, all right, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next tutorial.